If there's one element that both physically divides and spiritually connects the city of Saskatoon, it would be the river. The South Saskatchewan runs northeast through Saskatoon, carving a valley that defines the look and the feel of the city. The river brings with it the nature and the wildlife of the country, creating a tranquil environment within the urban sprawl. The Meewasin Valley Authority is the caretaker of this urban parkland and is concerned with everything from the conservation of its ecology to the urban development plans on the waterfront.
Meewasin is a statutory agency, but what we usually say is we're a conservation agency, and we have three roles: conservation, protecting the natural and human heritage of the river; development, developing projects and getting people down to the river, and where we're standing at River Landing is an example of that; and education, telling people about the natural and heritage resources of Saskatoon and area. We've always been interested in our human heritage, past, present, and future, and how people interact with the river and how they express that interaction. And particularly now that we were doing this multi-million-dollar development of the riverfront in Saskatoon, it made a lot of sense to involve an artist and help bring this site more alive. We wanted this place to be unique. And our goal was to give this place a sense of place, so that when you came here, you know you're not in Chattanooga, Tennessee, or Austin, Texas, or even Winnipeg or Calgary or Vancouver. You know you're in Saskatoon just by the story this site tells.
City on the river, forget the dreams we knew. We haven't got a clue.
And to make it authentic, the people need to speak, they need to tell their story through the landscape, through the plant materials, through the construction materials chosen, through it all, even down to like the choice of color reflects Saskatoon berries. And so we wanted an artist to help bring that story out in every way that we could.
Laura Hale is an environmental installation artist whose past work includes a residency for the 2005 Jeux Canada Games. Here, she collaborated with the community to combine the prairie landscape and motion, creating several crop art pieces near Regina, Saskatchewan. As part of her residence with the Meewasin Authority, Laura organized a winter festival which included ice installations along the river and at the Besborough Park ice skating rink, as well as snow carving events and other winter activities.
Especially with Meewasin, the artist in residence with Meewasin, for me, I consider myself a landscape artist, or outdoor naturalist artist, where I react to the environment, or I do installations, temporary or permanent, using the landscape as background or as the medium. So for me, this is just having the whole river valley to play and work in is just a great opportunity. So it's a great fit for me and great fit for Meewasin, I think. Right, it's gone by so fast. It's only been 6 months, but yeah, well, right when I started, I did the snow sculpting, the winter white down at River Landing. So the focus was to get people out in the winter and down and out to River Landing and see what's happening down there. And then also this River Landing Mosaic project is another way to just get the community involved in this great development that's happening down there.
And she's been working on a number of projects, but probably the one that's taken the most time is we're doing a children's play area, and we always had this thought that somehow we can involve an artist in, although this does tell the story of Saskatoon and the entire river basin, we wanted to make it, to have some local theme to it, and Laura's been working on that using fish, tile mosaic fish, and working with school children.
And after recess, we'll see where we're at with the fish, and then we can start, if we're ready, we can start on the background. But the most important thing is to get your fish done. Because I'm immersed in with the kids right now in the schools, I just get a real kick coming into the schools, and the stuff that the kids create is really, really amazing. That looks great. That's nice and tight. So like I could only fit a quarter right there. Okay. And it's good that nice line that you have there. I can sure see where the fish is.
Well, a great deal of support, both from the city and our other partners, and in this case the school boards, the public and Catholic school board, working on the tile mosaic project, these little fish that the children make, and they've just let her into the classrooms. They've loved it. You can just see the reaction. Everybody's having a good time, and yet they're learning a lot about, not only about the river, but about how art happens and what artists do.
Right now the focus is the school kids, so we have a balance of the public schools and the Catholic schools, and mostly grade 4 or 5s, but that also includes the whole school, and the teachers and the parents and the families will all hopefully go down to River Landing and see their kids' fish mosaics and their grandparents, and hopefully it's a wider range. You know what colors you want where, you can start gluing?
Put glue like on the good side, not this.
Right, so should I do one and show you? So pick it up and we just put a little bit of glue. Yes, you put it on the glue side. Then I'm going to take this and flip it over and then pull off the glue like warm water. It melts the glue right off. The mosaics, until they actually go into the water play park, it's hard to visualize exactly how they're going to affect the space, but there's been really positive response on how they've turned out. And I've gotten better at teaching the kids and leading the kids in the workshop. So yeah, it's great. The kids have so much energy. It's really exciting. We're calling it the Meewasin School of Fish, the combination of the schools. And so when I went into the schools, I sort of talked about River Landing, what was happening, and different kinds of fish in Saskatchewan. I'd have posters up, and so the kids could use their imagination and what kind of fish they wanted to build. Well, then I took those tiles that the kids glued the tiles onto the paper, and then I cut the square out, and then we made frames out of styrofoam and angle iron, and hired a local concrete tradesman to help us with the mix, because it was almost like a grout we had to create with concrete. So we got that mixed down. It was really runny yet strong, and it set up quite quickly, and we could pour 24 at once. And we had 2 tables set up and did the mix, poured them, used the vibrate the table to get the bubbles out, and let them set up for a couple days, and then took them, peeled the paper off, and then pressure wash them with a high power pressure washer, and they were ready to go. They'll be sealed once they're in here, so they'll have a protective coating on them to help them last. But it's great. It's great to see it finally actually come to a conclusion. And I wasn't sure if they were going to go in before the snow flew, but we're getting a batch in. Well, they've created a channel, and then they're pouring the concrete. It looks to be about 10 inches thick, and they've tied it into the existing concrete. And then they're submerging, pressing the tiles, the mosaics, into the wet concrete. And I think we have about 2 or 3 hours to get the perfect kind of levels and fix the details. So the connection of the flora and fauna in the setting that we're at, the fish just made sense, and the water and the park. So I just imagine kids and their families walking around on top of the tiles, you know, and exploring, finding theirs, or just, it's also a nice flow, walkway around the whole park to just discover what's out there. So that's what's happening. We're doing 22 today out of 160. They're installed around the perimeter of the actual water play park. So kids can come and find their little tile next, probably summer, hopefully.
So how many schools were involved altogether?
There was 20 schools involved with both the public and the Catholic school system. So grade 4s and 5s mostly. No, it's just really exciting, like I was saying earlier, to just see these kind of closure to the whole project so I can move on to something else. And you know, a lot of the kids, if I ever ran into them, they were like, when's our fish going in? So now I'll be able to tell them, and yeah, it'll be so great to just see them out here playing, and just who knows, years from now, I'll come down here and see them.
Arts on the Waterfront tells our story to not only to visitors but to ourselves. But it makes this authentic. It makes us understand who we are and where we're coming from. And I think more than that too, Laura through this has had to work with our advisory committees, the consulting teams, engineers, architects, and many of them are already very creative people, but it does really help them to work with a real artist on a regular basis and learn each other's processes and languages, because sometimes they're saying the same thing, they're just using different terms. And to her credit, Laura has been exceedingly flexible and able to work with other professions and to sort of understand the way they work, but also helping them to understand the way she works.
Well, I think it just exposes people to a variety of arts. Like, it's really hard to define what is art, so there's a huge range. And so seeing the kids' art starting from, 10 years old, right? Like, you can't really qualify it as, good or bad art. It's creation, it's more of the process. So I think this whole river landing development has a variety of different kinds of art and different scales and different, materials, and so I think it just exposes our community to what art can be, right? It doesn't have to be really representational of a certain person from history. It can be, art can be anything, and it's hard with public art. Everybody's going to have an opinion about it, whether it's good or it's bad, or if they like it or not, but at least it's stimulating some sort of conversation.
As we develop projects, we'll look for opportunities to involve artists and artwork and know that a creative artist can come up with many different ways to do it. I can tell you in the past, one of the things that our community has thought that if we're going to do art, well, it has to be a statue of a dead guy. That's art. And indeed, that is, and there's some wonderful examples of that. I'm not decrying that, but there are also many other ways, and I think Laura has taught us that, and we're hoping that that will continue. The other thing that we plan to continue is through our interpretive programs to tell the story of art and culture in this community. Again, we're working with Laura and with the City Art Program to interpret the art here and to get people in our community out looking at art and realizing that art is more than a statue, that there's art in everything we do, and certainly in this site it's everywhere we look.
Well, you gotta seal them. Sandblock and sealer will bring all the color.
Well, certainly the goals of helping to make this place authentic have been reached. We're well on our way to doing that, and if we just had another 5 years, I think Laura would have ideas for continuing to make the place authentic. So yes, the goals are well on the way to being reached, and I think this site is going to be something that local people will come to and be extremely excited about, but visitors will come to too and say, oh, this is what Saskatoon's about, and this is their story. Well, how will we continue to involve arts and culture? We'll certainly continue to work with Laura. We have her project extended, and we're extremely excited about that.
I am. My contract's been renewed as artist in residence with the Saskatchewan Arts Board program as artist in residence, and I'll still be involved in some projects with River Landing. It's never ending. There's lots of areas to work in. We're going to renew the Snow Carving Festival, Winter White, so that'll be end of January. And also I'm designing some tree grates, and I have a spot designated for a piece of my own art, which is great. They're like, here's your spot, you can do whatever you want. Versus this, the mosaics, it was like, okay, we have a band around the water play park, now you have to focus on what do you want to do with it. So this other space is my own to decide I have to do some proposals first. But
Well, we're extremely fortunate to have someone like Laura. We had just come to the point here where we had good workman-like project. It was lovely, but it just needed that extra veneer, and we just knew an artist could bring that. And so we, from day one, the minute there was any even hint of this, we had our finger in the pie to get an artist in residence. We've been very lucky that our association with her is going to be extended into next year, and we've got a number of other projects planned for them.
Wonderful.
not just a Meewasin space, it's not a city space. Once it's completed, it's everybody's to use and enjoy. So the more art and creative input we can put into it, I think it just contributes to a more healthy, active, interesting society.
For us, it's been a huge success, and for our community, it's been very successful. We've helped to bring along some young up-and-coming artists and to work with some experienced artists. But as a community, I think we've all grown, and I think we're all very much better for it.